Assalamu alaikum. Across spiritual traditions, breath has always held a place of great importance. Nearly every path includes meditations that center upon it. In the yogic tradition, there is pranayama, the science of breath, with its many methods of controlled inhalation and exhalation. In Buddhism, anapanasati, or mindfulness of breathing, is often the first meditation taught to beginners, and yet it remains profound enough to serve advanced practitioners throughout their lives. In Islamic spirituality too, the breath occupies a central place. In the Naqshbandi order, the very first of the 11 principles is Hoshdardam, awareness of the breath. Because of this variety of traditions and methods, the seeker may become confused. Each path offers its own approach, sometimes complementary, sometimes seemingly contradictory. The method I teach is the simplest one. It asks for no control, no alteration, only awareness. We do not slow down the breath, retain it, or shape it in any way. We simply observe. We allow the breath to be as it is, letting its natural rhythm reveal itself. The breath is, in truth, the ideal object of meditation. It does not need to be created or imagined. It is already there, already perfect. Our task is not to produce it, but to become aware of its perfection. Breathing is also the first and the last action of the human being. Our first act as newborn was an inhalation, the drawing in of life. And our final act upon the deathbed will be an exhalation, the release of life. And our entire existence unfolds between these two movements, one in-breath and one out-breath. The whole span of a human life takes place between them. The breath has been happening all along, quietly sustaining us even when we are unaware of it, while distracted, asleep, even in deep sleep. It never ceases. But as soon as we turn our attention towards it, a subtle reflex arises, the impulse to control. We immediately begin to interfere, lengthening, deepening, shaping. To see this reflex clearly is essential. Only by becoming aware of it can we release it. And when we remember that the breath was already happening before our attention arrived, we realize we do not need to do it. This is an undoing meditation. This simplicity is deceptive, for it is in this natural breath that something extraordinary is occurring. Breath is one of the most fundamental aspects of life. It is through the breath that Allah infused the Spirit into us. As the Quran reminds us, He breathed into man of His own Spirit. Divine life entered humanity through breath, like the resuscitating breath given to one revived from drowning. And yet, this divine act does not happen only once. It is continuous. At every moment, He is breathing life into us anew. Each inhalation is a renewal of that sacred moment. If, however, as soon as we turn our attention to the breath, we begin to manipulate it, to slow it down, to deepen it, to control it, we miss the essential point. We become the doer again, and our awareness is drawn back into the self. This practice, in truth, is about forgetting the self, about stepping aside so that we may witness what is being done through us, rather than by us. By observing the breath, we are also offered a perfect opportunity to see directly the action of the ego, the small self. The small self needs to be seen directly, and during this type of meditation, it becomes clear. Its actions become evident. You can see in real time what it does to the breath. The ego is always creating obstructions by its constant need to interfere, to manage, to control everything. It inserts itself into the natural flow of life, and by doing so, it creates disturbance and resistance. But when you see this happening, when you notice the very moment that control arises, you can relax it, you can let it go, and immediately you can see how the natural flow of breath is restored. This is something that becomes clearer with practice. It might not be evident the first time you try, but it is one of the most valuable insights that emerges from this path, simply observing the breath and learning to get out of the way. Surrender to the breath. The breath will happen on its own. You have nothing to do. The less you do, the better. The better the breath will move. The purpose of this practice is to stop doing, to release the impulse to control, to allow ourselves to be breathed. Through this practice, we learn the art of letting go of control, letting go of the self. And this is very valuable, because the understanding we gain here is not limited to the meditation cushion. The skill of letting go, cultivated through awareness of the breath, can be applied to every situation of our lives. In our relationships, our emotions, our daily struggles, and our reactions. Each moment of release becomes a doorway back to balance, to trust, to remembrance. Remembrance that we are not the doer. The breath is not our action. It is God's action upon us. All other methods aim at a goal. Calmness, clarity, focus, or altered states. This method has no such goal. Its only aim is to witness Allah's action unto us. It is a practice of non-action, of non-interference. The less we interfere with the breath, the more natural it becomes. We allow it to express itself as it should, freely, unimpeded. In this practice, we are learning to trust nature, Allah's activity. We come to see that nature has its own intelligence, its own way of restoring balance when we leave it alone. Our immune system knows how to heal our wounds without our conscious effort. Our digestive system knows how to digest if we let it do so. In the same way, the breath knows how to breathe and how to find its equilibrium. The air we breathe does not only contain oxygen and nitrogen, but also a more subtle form of nourishment. It is called prana in Sanskrit, chi in Chinese, and lung in Tibetan. All these words can be translated as air or wind, yet they actually refer to a subtle form of life energy contained within the breath itself. By breathing consciously, by bringing awareness into the act, we allow the body to absorb more of this energy. The greater the awareness, the deeper the intake of that subtle nourishment. And we can feel it. We can feel it feeding us, flowing through our limbs, through the whole body, from head to toe. With refined awareness, we begin to sense the living action of the breath throughout the entire being. In this way, the air is also food. Perhaps this is what our Prophet, peace be upon him, hinted at when he advised us to leave 1/3 of the stomach for food, 1/3 for water, and 1/3 for air. It may symbolically point to this reality of air as nourishment. But to truly absorb it, we need awareness. Even though the goal is not to change the breath, awareness itself has a transforming effect. As we observe the breath, without intervening, it begins to settle naturally. It softens, it sinks. In Qigong, this is called sinking the breath. But it is not something we do. It is a natural fruit of observation. By simply being aware, the breath finds its own depth and rhythm. It slows down, but on its own term, in its own time. When we notice our tendency to intervene, to subtly adjust or control, the instruction is simple. Drop it. Let go of it. Again and again, until the habit weakens and fades. In doing this, we are not merely observing the breath. We are training ourselves to let go of the goal-oriented mind. This is the essence of surrender, to cease striving for outcomes and to rest in pure witnessing, to let the breath breathe as it wishes and to see in every movement the quiet living sign of Allah's ongoing creation. Assalamu alaikum.